is Liat Benzikar, and I am the Student Wellness Officer here at St. Mike's. The wellness program here at St. Michael's really has a look at the student's life here, from when they begin to when they graduate. And we really have a look at a student in a holistic way, in mind, body, and spirit. And so we really feel that in order for a student to be successful academically, they need to have success in their social-emotional realms of their lives. The groundwork has already been laid, and so I'm finding spaces where wellness already exists and really trying to magnify and enhance them, and finding new opportunities and initiatives that we're able to start here with the students. What my approach looks like is meeting students where they're at, understanding them in their world, considering where I can best support them and build them up to a point where they feel like they can start to take things on, where they can face adversity, really building that resilience, those interpersonal relationships, and taking them as they come and really building a unique program, so to speak, for each student who walks through my office door. So I think for a lot of students, what's nice about this role here in the school, number one is the ability to be able to access support for wellness at any moment throughout the day. If something happens before arriving at school, at the lunch table, in the classroom, they're able to connect with me to be able to work through any issue or crisis that may arise at the time. And I know that that's been really helpful for students, particularly who are working at integrating skills that they've established or worked on in the classroom and in the school community. What's particularly special about having a school social worker is that I'm able to see a student in their environment, see how they interact with their peers, see how they interact with their teachers, brainstorm with them ideas that might actually be able to improve the way they move through their school day. So I actually find that being able to see students in their environment, in their interactions, in their endeavors and their transitions, really is such a unique position to be able to support students in their wellness in the most unique way possible. I tell students when they enter my office that nothing is off limits, that they're allowed to bring any and every issue that may have come across their headspace. And so the things that we may talk about are things like changing families, identity, transition, drug and alcohol use. We might talk about things like feeling integrated, interpersonal relationships, heartbreaks, grieving, you name it, we've seen it. And so, it sort of speaks to how critical it is to have a space where mental health is put on the table, because there can be days where it's heavy. But what I'll say is this. What is so rewarding about working in a school with adolescent, teenage, young adults is being able to see them through what can be some of the most transformative years of their lives, and seeing them off into graduation and being able to see the small, sometimes, impact that having a space to talk about or consider challenges, life events can be to them. I found myself in this wonderful role of social work in schools really through my experience as an informal educator. And so it felt like a really perfect marriage of the two, bringing my skills as an educator and my skills now as a new social worker, and bringing them to the field in school settings. So I've been working in schools for the last 8 years. The experiences that I've had, I think that really led me here, is that I've worked in a number of different high school, private, independent, public school settings, single-sex schools, co-ed schools, etc. And I've worked on building curriculum, making sure that mental health is woven into the curriculum of the classrooms, that teachers are being well taken care of, that teachers are able to integrate skills to best support student mental health. A student can be referred to me in many different ways, either by reaching out themselves and setting up a confidential meeting with me, either by connecting through their parents, setting up supports for their parents. I could connect with them through teachers, their guidance counselors, their learning enrichment center teachers, or really a friend who might come in and say, hey, I think this would be a good space for my friend to connect with you. So students can access me in any way possible, same with parents, and it's important to know that everything that's spoken about in my office is completely confidential, of course with certain restrictions, but that students have that space to really come and take a load off and know that it's between me and them. Something that's been so nice to hear is getting on the phone with parents and hearing, holy smokes, we're so excited to hear that your role exists here at the school, and it really speaks to what we've prioritized as important to the students. So I would say that the parents have been able, particularly through the pandemic, have been able to sort of reach out for support. Something that we've talked a lot about is having our school have a look at students through what's called a trauma-informed lens. And now that isn't to say that we assume that every student goes through some sort of traumatic event in their life, but what it is acknowledging that every student comes into the school with a backpack filled with things that will interact in their day-to-day lives. Could be the way they present in the classroom, could be the way they respond to a teacher, could be about the way they do on a test. And when we unpack those things, when we get to know a little bit more about what's in that backpack, we start to understand why things happen. And so that's really my hope when it comes to sort of the vision of wellness here at St. Michael's.